and raised in Attleboro and was a member of the graduating class of Attleboro High School in 1934. If you look at his class yearbook, which is on this wall, you'll see that he was aptly listed as Best Boy Musician. That was very fitting. The song that was just performed beautifully by the choral group was written by Ray, and it was the class song of 1934. So, this is not something that this group always sings. So, it's wonderful that they made a very special effort, and as we finish our announcements, they're going to perform the song again for you. A backstage tour, Ray Conniff Memorabilia and Memories. This exhibition is very special for the museum. Conniff's career memorabilia, generously shared by his daughter Tamara, is on view through February 22nd. We're honored to have Tamara and her husband Kevin with us today. Tamara, please come and
Actually, it was talked about reading the class song. Like, I heard this story a lot. Like, there was a thing about people were competing to write the class song, and he was really nervous, and he wrote it, and he wasn't sure if he was going to win, and he did, and his parents were so proud of him. It's a story he told over and over. Like, I remember it. Thank you, Mim. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tony. Viveiros. None of this would happen without your dedication and support. And thank you to the whole Attleboro community. My dad loved Attleboro. You know, it wasn't one of those places where I know sometimes when people move on or get famous or whatever, they don't really talk about where they come from a lot. And my dad, always talked about Attleboro. He always came back to visit. There's countless interviews that he did over the years where he credits his Attleboro music teacher for inspiring him and helping him become the musician that he became. So Attleboro was always a part of him. And I was joking, so was the New England accent. Like, he never lost that. It was always like, over there, pop. So this is actually my personal collection. This collection was in my family home, my whole life. And my mom passed away in January, and I, got the collection, and I wanted to give it back to you guys, because this is where it belongs. And thrilled that the high school will be displaying some of it, and that the new high school is going to have a permanent display. It means the world to me, and just keep listening to Ray Conniff music, share it with your friends, and share it with your kids, and let's keep his name and legacy alive, because he is Attleboro's native son. So thank you, and thank you to the musicians who performed, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. As Tamara just mentioned, all of these items, there are 56, will travel to Attleboro High School, where they will become part of a permanent display. And if you were here when our reception began, you heard the Attleboro High School Jazz Band perform under the direction of Katie McCarthy. After listening to these young musicians, I feel there's no better home for Ray's memorabilia. It's wonderful to think that they will be surrounded by the sound of great young talent. At this point, I'd like to introduce Attleboro High School Principal Bill Runey.
Thank you, Mim. It is an absolute honor to be here at such a monumental occasion, not only for Attleboro High School, but I believe for the city of Attleboro as well. I also want to acknowledge the presence of the two educational leaders of our district, our superintendent, Mr. Sawyer, and our assistant superintendent, Mrs. Regan, who have a commitment to a holistic approach to the education of our students in pre-K all the way through to 12 plus, performing arts, academics, athletics, student government, you name it. They support us completely, and so I want to thank you both for all of your support. To them and to Tony Viveiros, as well as to the Attleboro Public Schools music staff and the Attleboro Music Parents Association for all that you've done to be able to have our students perform, not only under Katie's direction earlier, but under Gary's direction now. It was absolutely heartwarming for me to be able to see our students come out and be able to give back to our community. When Mr. Sawyer and I were able to dine with Tamara and Kevin yesterday, when Tamara mentioned how her dad's music teacher back in the 1930s was an inspiration to him, it reminded me of how the mission and vision of the Attleboro Public Schools are to engage, challenge, and inspire. And now, as we're in the early part of the 21st century, I think back to how that was still taking place in the Attleboro Public Schools back in the 1930s. And it really just shows how the commitment to education in Attleboro, especially at Attleboro High School, and the way that the community came forward back in April of 2018 to give us a brand new high school that's been rooted since even before Ray Conniff's days back in the 1930s. And just in closing, I want to thank Tamara and Kevin, their foundation and their family. Not only is this fabulous memorabilia going to be an inspiration to our students almost immediately after the exhibit is done here, but also we are going to give it a permanent home in the new high school once it opens in 2022. But even more importantly, I would say is equally as important, is that Tamara and the family are committed to the education of these young people moving forward beyond the walls of Attleboro High School, because they've also endowed a scholarship in Ray's name, and they're coming back in May to present that scholarship. So, Mayor Hero, Representative Hawkins, thank you for what you do for Attleboro High School, for the city of Attleboro, and again, it's just an absolute pleasure to be here today. Thank you.
This exhibition at the museum kicks off a year of live musical performances in this building, generously funded by the Ray Conniff Foundation. So, yes. I can't tell you how happy I am about that. If you look at our sign right out front, you'll see that we are the Attleboro Arts, ARTS Museum. And we work very hard to, of course, focus on the visual arts, but then we consider ourselves multidisciplinary as well. So whenever we have an opening reception, we have live music. We also perform poetry, live poetry in the gallery. We have had ballerinas come in and dance. It is truly multidisciplinary. And thanks to the Ray Conniff Foundation, having live music in the gallery, which actually sounds incredible in here, not only the vocals and the jazz band, but I've had bell ringers in here and they sound great. So imagine having live music for the next year performed probably almost every other week, thanks to the foundation. So some examples of the live music will happen at our upcoming flower show. And there'll also be a benefit concert featuring School of Rock Attleboro on March 26th. So School of Rock has musicians ages 12 through 17 that will perform acoustic versions of Ray's hits, along with classic rock selections. And we're actually selling tickets today up at our reception desk. Dave LaSalle and Kim from School of Rock, I believe, we're going to stop in today, so we thank them in advance. Finally, special thanks to my liaison and the man we call the man about town, Tony Viveiros. Only Tony could make the connection between Tamara and the museum, and I'm very grateful for that. I would like to call Tony up right now.
special to Attleboro. Tamara, I know you were close to your dad, and it must have been a commitment to donate all of this memorabilia. And I know that you often said that your dad would want this. And I'll tell you, not only is Attleboro going to highlight and showcase Ray's career, but it's also going to, as Mr. Runey mentioned, inspire the kids that come through the halls of Attleboro High School for years to come. And it teaches them, whatever goals you have, stay on that path to continue those goals. And we hope that this will continue. First, I'd like to thank Mim and their dedicated crew for doing this. It was a hectic week, but we had fun doing it. And I want to thank Tamara. Tamara, you may have been born in LA, but you're showing that you pride. As far as I'm concerned, the citizens of Attleboro consider you an honorary Attleboroan. And someday we'll make that official.
Yes, hopefully.
So thank you for coming out. This was a huge success. I'm glad to see a lot of Ray Conniff fans are out there, and I met quite a few interested people myself, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Two final very important announcements. There is an extraordinary cake that was created by our museum office manager, who is a wonderfully trained artist, Carrie St. Pierre. The cake is on our buffet table. It has a wonderful picture. It's not a digital image. Carrie actually painted that image. It's edible. Of Ray Conniff holding Lucky the rescue dog. Yep, a rescue dog. And that's a picture that you can see online too. And it also has paw prints and musical notes all over it, so it's blending our two exhibitions together. So we will start to serve that cake momentarily after we hear from our fabulous singers under the direction of Gary Hine.